to share ribs and thought, to explode all the received wisdom and write the Almanac together as if for the first time. The runner runs in my blood, in my mind and heart, feeds from light and water, wind and fire, recites recipes for food I prepare, dreams I inhabit, books I choose to bring to term. The runner is a sign in the sky, a voice inside the skin, a phrase in a poem. The runner carries 2 X chromosomes to my X and Y, but is not opposed, shares the enterprise. I listen to her advice of when to plant, how to find balance and leap ahead, how to create perennials, to assure the food supply while experimenting with new lines. You are running out of the mountain, across the bridge, protection running in my heart, beating in step, my mind composing these lines. Thank you. Feel free to become the resident photographer tonight, or videographer as you wish. And I can put this stuff on YouTube, and I also filmed some of the earlier readings, so with your permission, I'll use that. The book is about this runner who inspires the poet, but it's inevitably also about where I came from and where I'm going. So I'm a migrant. I belong to the poetry of migration. I suppose I was born in a country that no longer exists. It used to be called Ceylon. The name now is Sri Lanka. The mission. When a boy in Colombo, I served at the altar of the chapel next to my grandmother's house. My first day on the job, I kneeled toward the altar, not realizing I should have turned around and looked instead at the parishioners. The priest corrected me, and I took the lesson to heart. Ever since, I've looked out at the world, to the public, to people I mean to serve, but with God behind me, guiding me along. Now, several decades later, I realize I have become an older friar in the monastery, privileged to serve today's youth. My purpose even clearer, to dedicate what remains of breath, love and work, to spread the word of poetry. Thank you. You didn't realize you were signing up for a sermon or a religious encounter. But encountering the poem is a sort of a spiritual encounter, isn't it? A meeting. And it does save you. The word does save you. Poetry does make something happen, you know.
Yeah.
It doesn't just exist in the valley of its saying. Strider, keenness of feeling, desire to speak, overwhelming as I search for the right form to express overflowing need, to banish sleep, wake up running, dancing to Graceland, and submarine, and to you on the trail, sauntering in my sleep, then trilling in morning, bird song, sporting, rabbit ears keen for the almost silent step of the photographer, woodpecker even stopping its relentless eating just for a minute as you run by, as you run this poem into a state of atonement, of salvation, of bliss at the miracle of life, popping out from the dark, tangled interstices of my melancholy, where my heart had foundered until you whistled by, striding.
Yeah.
I'll come back to that to finish up the set, but I thought I'd read a poem or two also from one poem from this book. I'm very proud of it. The first book written in Portuguese, Música Subterrânea. It was just published in Brazil by Editorial Corte. And I just, for the sure there are some Portuguese speakers in the room. I'll just read one brief poem called So Geronimo de Fernando Pessoa, right? So con Cairo, sozinho no táxi compartilhado, sozinho na rua caminhando com a mala, sozinho no lobby do hotel pagando a conta, sozinho no quarto diante do televisor, sozinho na cama despertando com o sonho, sozinho à noite na mesa de café tomando suco. Agora é tua namorada, está do outro lado do continente, tua ilha, teus irmãos, teus filhos. Não queremos mais dessa poesia mentirosa. Busca outra maneira de estar sozinho. Ai, pobre guardador de rebanhos. So con Cairo. So that means... So is like alone with Cairo, no? Now, from this book, The Splintered Face, which I wrote after the tsunami of 2004, and as it affected the island of Sri Lanka, though of course, 12 countries, many places were devastated by this. And in Sri Lanka, I'll just read one poem, which is sort of the title poem of the book called Face. So recomposing of face is important, isn't it? And I don't mean that ironically with the recomposing the ear of the Trump who was just shot. I'm sorry that he was shot, but we still have to win that election. This community that I believe in and pray with. Face. Imagine half your face rubbed out, yet you're suited up and walking to the office. How will your mates greet you with heavy hearts, flowers, rosary beads? How shall we greet the orphan boy, the husband whose hands slipped, children and wife swept away? How to greet our New Years and our birthdays? Shall we always light a candle? Do we remember that time erases the shore, grass grows, pains modified? At Hikadua in 1980, I wrote Sunny Salon. I don't know what Calypsonians would compose about this monstrous wave, this blind hatchet man. Don't know the Baila singer's reply. We are a happy and go people, yet the fisherman's wife knows that her grandfather was eaten by the ocean. Fisher communities have suffered in time, and what's happened now is just another feast for that bloody sleeping mother lapping at her island. But what if the ocean were innocent? The tectonic plates innocent? What if God were innocent? I do not know how to walk upon the beach, how to lift corpse after corpse until I'm exhausted, how to stop the tears when half my face has been rubbed out beyond the railroad tracks, and this anesthetic, this calypso come to the last verse. What shall we write in the sand? Where are gravestones incinerated? Whose ashes are these earned and floating through a house throttled by water? Shall we build a memorial some calculated distance from the sea, in a park in the shape of a giant wave, where we can write the names of the dead? Has the wave lost its beauty, considered now obscene? Yet tomorrow we must go to the ocean and refresh ourselves in the sea breeze down in Hikadua, where it is raining in sunny Ceylon. Tomorrow we must renew our vows at sunrise, at sunset. Let us say the next time the ocean recedes and parrots gawk and flee and restless dogs insist their humans wake up, we will not peer at the revelation of the ocean bed, nor seek photographs. We will run to higher ground, and gathered there with our children, our cats, our dogs, our pigs, with what we've carried in our hands, albums, letters, we will make a circle, kneel, sit, stand in no particular direction, and pray, and be silent, and open our lungs, and shout thanks to our gods thanks to our talks. Thank you so much. I do have books. I'd rather leave Paris without